Hi, and welcome to the Parkin Real Estate Podcast, where we talk all things real estate, business related, and really anything happening in your life. If you've got a few minutes, we'd love to have you sit back, relax, and enjoy what we have to offer. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are listening to, and thank you for spending a little bit of time with me today. I'm Ken Parkin, host of the Ken Parkin Real Estate Podcast, coming to you. Well, I'm coming to you live, but you're probably listening to this as a recording. I'm excited to get back on. This is episode number 2, and we are going to talk all things real estate, all things basically around your house, all things kind of life in real estate. Also going to be interviewing some local businesses in the GTA and bringing some special stories and special businesses to you, as well as some discounts or special offerings from the businesses that we interview. Today I want to talk about 7 things to make your home, 7 tips and tricks to make your home ready for winter. We know winter is coming, it's upon us. If you're in the local GTA, it has dropped below 0 degrees a couple times now. And really these last couple weeks, it's been absolutely kind of crummy out there and rainy and cold. So winter is definitely on the way. It is November 1st. If you're listening to this podcast in the spring, we've made it through the treacherous winter, but we're going to be talking today of 7 tips and tricks how to make your home ready for winter. So without further ado, it's probably a little late for this tip, but check the weather forecast. It's the beginning of November. It's a great time to kind of cut your lawn down and fertilize it. Your lawn's going to go dormant over the winter time, and when it comes back into the springtime, you're going to have the first layer of fertilizer down. So it's a great time to fertilize. According to experts, fertilizing your lawn in the autumn protects it over the wintertime and helps it green up faster come springtime. Fall feeding is especially important in dry summer areas, and really we're in that middle of a dry to wet summer. We really don't have that much rain. So dosing your lawn with fertilizer in the autumn time will trigger that renewed growth of both the blades and the roots. So your grass is going to be thicker and healthy again before that winter cold temperature sets in. So fertilize your lawn if you haven't already, but pay attention to that forecast before you do it. Number 2, probably the most important tip and trick is your HVAC, your furnace. If you haven't had this maintained over the last couple years, it's probably best to get someone in to take a quick peek at it and make sure that it's up to snuff. You don't want on a minus 20 degree evening at 1 a.m. your furnace dying on you. And I mean, if it does get serviced, strange and crazy things can happen, so it's not like it wouldn't. But if you haven't had your furnace looked at in a couple of years, it's probably good to call a HVAC contractor, a furnace contractor, to come out and take a quick peek. If you are looking for some highly recommendable furnace contractors, reach out to me, soul@kenparkin.com, and I can forward you those details. The reason why you want to get it serviced, besides the obvious, your AC, has been going all summer long. It's going to get a rest. You're going to cover that up, make sure no leaves or anything get in there. You probably want to take a hose and spray it out just to make sure that the coils are clean. You look on YouTube, there's tons of videos on how to do that properly. So yeah, if you're done using the AC, which we're there now. I like my house kind of cool at nighttime, but I'm going to crack a window. Cover it, and it just keeps the debris out of it. More importantly, the ice. You don't want to have ice build up in there and it wreck the fan. So make sure your thermostat's working too. Check the batteries if it's battery fed. But the other thing that might be good if we're on the HVAC topic is just to check and see if you need your ducts clean. If it's been a long time, it's worth the $100 to $300 investment if it's been a really long time. Make sure your air filter is changed every couple months. if you don't change your air filter, you're breathing in what your furnace is pushing through. So it's probably a good thing to check out. So that's number 2. Number 3, which is another obvious one, but a lot of people don't really think about. If you're in a new subdivision, it's probably something you don't need to worry about. But if you're in, South Burlington, South Oakville, most of Hamilton, you're going to want to check your gutters. Make sure your gutters are clean. You really don't want to have clogged gutters, because the clogged gutter is going to channel water down the side of your house. It's going to get down by your foundation. If it gets frozen, it could expand, could cause cracking, could cause water damage. You don't want to have a flooded basement. So if you are unable to do so, reach out to me, sold@kenparkin.com. I can recommend some good, honest guys to come out and check your gutters and make sure that they are cleared out and are fully functional for the heavy rain that we've experienced and are probably we're going to get. Number 4, it's time to put away your lawnmower. Before you fertilize, make sure your grass is cut fairly low. Fertilize it, and then it's time to put away your lawnmower. You don't need that stuff anymore. The one thing you're going to want to check is make sure you don't, leave any fuel that is standing over the wintertime. Unused fuel can go through chemical changes. They create like deposits and can really destroy your lawn equipment. You might not see it next year, but it really contributes to the filters and things like that are in your lawn equipment. If you have a gas-powered lawnmower or trimmer, it's probably best to dump that fuel into a gas can and store that gas can somewhere fairly warm. Don't like bringing things inside the house like that, but it's something that you definitely don't want to leave in your lawnmower. The other thing to do too is, if you haven't sharpened your lawnmower blades, you don't even think about it. It's a great time to take them off the bottom of your lawnmower, or take your lawnmower and just get it serviced and maintained. So that's number 4. Number 5, some of us have, I do not, but some of us have irrigation systems. It's a yearly thing to have them closed, blown out, and then in the springtime, re-energized and ready to go for summer. So we are approaching that time to blow them out. It's really time, if you don't do it, to do it. If you haven't done it, to do it. If you don't blow out your irrigation system, the lines are full of water and can freeze. And basically they can expand and break. So you do not want that. You don't want that to happen. The other thing to do is to make sure your outside hoses, they're turned off. Very simple, very easy. Turn them off from the inside. If you don't have a shutoff, it's actually worth it to get a plumber in to do it. And the reason being, they can freeze from the outside, and that can come back inside a little bit, and it can basically expand and potentially flood your basement without you even knowing it. So something to take a look at and think about. Number 6 kind of hits close to home. I've had a couple clients have some issues with their chimneys. Those little pesky raccoons love to get in and destroy anything in their path, and some of that they can eat right down and get into your house through your chimney. So if you use a wood burning fireplace still, you're far and few between. Make sure that you inspect that. You don't want to have too much contaminants built up in the chimney. You want to make sure it's cleared out and cleaned out, as well as the chimney caps. No animals can get in. So that's tip number 6. Make sure your chimney's cleaned out. If you have a gas, I guess number 6A, if you have a gas burning fireplace and you haven't had it inspected or cleaned in 5 years or longer, it's probably a good idea to get someone in to do that. Again, these are all little things that you don't think about, but that add up in terms of the maintenance and can cause some issues if you don't stay on top of them. So it's not something you necessarily need to stay on top of all the time, every year, but I would have someone in if it's been a few years and make sure that they're in proper working order. Number 7 is pretty obvious, but you kind of forget until it's too late, and then you need it and you don't have it, is get some ice melt. There's a lot of earth-friendly, eco-friendly ice melts out there, pet-friendly to be more specific. You know, we don't want our furry friends walking over the acidic ice melt and having that on their paws, bringing it into the house, then they're licking their paws and they're, you know, eating contaminants, which happen quite a bit. So get out there and get some ice melt. If you have a snowblower, make sure that's working, and fire it up, make sure it lights up and you know, is going to work for you for the wintertime. So those are 7 tips and tricks that I recommend all of my clients use to get their house ready for winter. It's coming, whether we like it or not, and we're gonna have to make sure we're ready to go and ready for the snow to fly. So I will leave you with that quick little podcast today: tips and tricks to get your home ready for winter. Appreciate you listening, and if you feel that I provide any value, please recommend the podcast, share it with your friends, and if you have any tips or tricks or recommendations for me, I love the feedback, I love the comments, so let me know if there's anything I can do that would make the experience any better. I'm going to introduce some video, so we'll have it on YouTube soon, and I'm super excited to roll out the small business podcast, where I'm going to be introducing new businesses and having local business owners on the podcast that we can talk about business, talk about what their podcast is, the value and services and products they can bring to you, and how you can save some money in the process by using local business. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Ken Parkin, kenparkin.com. I look forward to talking to you on the next one.